Hey everybody, good afternoon. Scott Wiseman from WiseManTrek. Today I want to share with you folks a little bit about the gear that I'll be taking with me on my 2020 Pacific Crest Trail through hike. I've collected about 95% of my gear, and it's all stored down in the basement of my house, which is where I'm filming today. I've just been collecting it, sorting it out, making sure that I've got everything that I need. I'm going to share that with you. I'm also at another point going to share with you each of my items and the specific weight for that item. I know in the through hiking community it's very important. There's lots of conversation about base weight and how much your pack weighs. So I'll be sharing a little bit about weight in another video, and then perhaps a second video. I might combine it into one, I'm not quite sure. I'll talk about cost. I know that cost can be an issue for folks who are looking forward to doing a hike like this. Gear isn't cheap, but it can be a little cheaper or a little bit more expensive depending on your own personal thing. So we'll talk about that. At any rate, I'm gonna have a helper for today's video who's gonna help me share video with you folks, that being my wife Lauren. So I'm gonna pause here just for a second, give her a shout out, see if she's ready to come down here and help me talk about this gear. So hold on. Okay, before I get started with my wife Lauren, I just want to sort of show you what I've got assembled here. And as I said, I'll talk about more of this stuff in detail in just a few minutes, but this is the gear that I have for my 2020 through hike of the Pacific Crest Trail. I've got it sorted and a bit organized to help in the presentation. It's obviously going to be a jumbled mess when I'm done, but there it all is. I hope to show you in an upcoming video how actually all of this stuff goes into my backpack. And I'll probably do that in the same video that I weigh everything. So I look forward to that. Anyway, there's all the gear. So let me yell at my wife Lauren and see if she can come help me talk about individual things. So give me a second. Here comes the dog and the helper.
Dog first.
Yeah, so this is my wife Lauren. Say hi.
Hi.
And where's Maverick? Here's Maverick. Come here. Oops. Come here. Come here. This is the pupster Maverick. He'll help with the video today too. He'll probably just get in the way. So anyway, let's talk about gear. So we're going to start with the big three. So we'll start with packs first. Give me the other one. This one. Okay. So this is an Osprey 8th year 70 liter backpack. I got this off the Facebook Marketplace, I don't know, 2 years ago for $100. I thought it was a bargain. It is a really comfortable pack. It's the only pack that I've actually used in training so far. It holds all my gear really well, but it is heavy. It's kind of an older school pack. It's made for comfort, not necessarily ultralight backpacking or long distance backpacking, but it is super comfortable, and it's the only one I've used so far. But I do have an option, because some time ago I bought this Granite Gear Vapor Trail backpack. I got it on sale I think I got it on Amazon. Maybe I got it directly from Granite Gear, I'm not sure. REI. Thanks, Lauren. She reminded me it was REI. And I got this for just $60. And this is a fairly lightweight pack. This is just a little over 2 pounds. But it's not quite as comfortable as my other one, especially since I'm a little bit heavy and need to lose some weight. I think once I lose about 20 pounds, this pack will become much more comfortable. So I might swap out packs at some point. It just depends. I can have Lauren mail this out to me where I'm at. I might do that at Kennedy Meadows before I enter the Sierra, but not quite sure. But anyway, I have a choice. You can see it's still got tags on it, so if I decide not to use it, I can probably resell it. Like I say, it was only about 60 bucks. So this apparently was one of the most popular packs in the thru hiking community about 8 to 10 years ago. Everybody was wearing these. So this was actually a promotion through Granite Gear to buy that very popular pack, again offered, and it was only 60 bucks. So I might do that, not sure, one of those two packs. So let's talk about the gear that I'm actually going to wear when I start walking from Campo, California in just a couple of months. First off, I have hats. This is a hat that I borrowed from my wife, believe it or not. I think it's a great hat. It has a flap in the back to keep the sun off of your neck, but it has no brim in the back. So if your backpack's a little bit taller, it might not hit your backpack. So I might use this, or I might use this Shelta hat that I got. It's kind of a bushwhacker hat, probably a little bit more manly. It's got a brim all the way around and a tie-on strap, but the brim is very stiff, so this can last all day in wind, rain, and this brim is going to stay extremely solid. It also has a neck thing that snaps on to the back and then hangs down, it drapes down. So it still offers some sun protection, so I might do that as well. Yeah, it's actually, that sun thing stores inside the pack. There's a little pocket here with Velcro, and that little flap stores inside the hat, so I might wear that. Here's the shoes I'm gonna wear on my thru hike, or at least start. Okay. These are Ultra Lone Peak 4.0s, and these shoes right here probably have, I'm guessing, close to 100 miles on them so far. Just walking, training, elliptical, treadmill, or actually training with the full weight of my backpack. So I will probably start the trail with this very pair of Ultra Lone Peak shoes, but we'll see how it goes. I might have to get a new pair depending on how much training I get done before now and the start date, but I'm going to try and use these. These are zero drop shoes, which are kind of interesting for those who aren't familiar. Zero drop shoes are the exact same distance from the floor to your heel and from the floor to the ball of your foot. I think these are supposed to be really great hiking shoes, and so far they've been extremely comfortable for me. Not comfortable for everybody, I understand, but comfortable for me. So those are shoes. Socks. I have the Injinji toe socks. These are just sock liners, but each individual toe has its own little bitty pocket, which means that if I am prone to blisters or walking around with wet feet, these can help protect my toes from blistering as I hike. So these will be liners. Over top of those liners, I will wear a different pair of socks. These happen to be Darn Tough socks, and the interesting thing about Darn Tough socks is they're darn tough. And if they should happen to get a hole in them, all you have to do is take them back to anybody who sells Darn Tough socks, and you can trade them out for free. So essentially buying one pair of socks is a lifetime sock guarantee as long as Darn Tough stays in business, and there's folks that sell Darn Tough socks. So this is the one pair of hiking socks I'll wear over my Injinji toe socks when I start the trip. On top of my shoes, I have gaiters from Ultra. Again, those of you who aren't familiar with gaiters, these attach to the top of your shoe, and you put your foot and ankle through the top. This attaches to the top of your shoe, and it keeps sticks and mud and other things from getting down into your shoe when you hike. It's just fewer times you have to take off your shoe to shake out a rock. So a lot of people who are through hiking wear these gaiters to keep debris and stuff out of their shoe. It doesn't help with dirt. My feet are still going to be dirty, but it does keep rocks and sticks and stuff like that out. Underdraws, just a basic pair of starter underwear that are not cotton. They're definitely a lycra polyester blend, which will dry quickly and hopefully help with any issues you might have with that I might have with chafing and stuff. So, oh boy, we're getting fast. Here's a shirt. This is my hiking shirt. This is from the wonderful company Natural Gear. I have no idea. I've never heard of it before. It's just a fishing shirt. I don't know when I got it, but it's, you know, it's got the big.
To Alaska.
It's got the big flap on the back. Oh, Lauren reminded me I got this when I went to Alaska. But it's got a nice zip pocket on the front. It's definitely not cotton, so it should dry very quickly when it gets wet. And it's vented all over the place. It's got vents behind the shoulders. It's got vents across the back. And hopefully this will keep the sun off of me when I hike from day one. That's the shirt. The pants. I have these pants from Eddie Bauer. They are convertible pants, as you can see. There's a zipper right here on both legs that zip off. The pant part comes off the bottom, leaving just shorts. It's really 2-in-1. It really is an effort to save weight. As you can see, I haven't worn them yet. I just got these. So hopefully this will save weight in my pack by having a convertible pair of pants. To hold up those pants, I have a very elastic belt, also from Eddie Bauer. It's not just a piece of elastic, it definitely is a backpacking belt that clips together, and I can hold up my pants. I suppose I could also use this as a tourniquet should I chop off a leg somehow with my knife. I'm not sure that's gonna happen. I have a bracelet. I got this as a gift from Lauren. It's just a sort of survival thing. It's got some paracord. You've all seen these paracord bracelets. I don't know, it's probably got 50 miles of paracord wrapped up in this bracelet, but it also has a whistle that I can use in case I were to get lost. Somebody could find me. It does have a compass that I'm quite sure is cheap enough that it doesn't work. On the inside, it does have a flint, so I can actually make some spark and perhaps make a fire. I don't know. I'm obviously not going to use this or depend on this for survival, but I do have it because it's a gift, and I'm going to take it with me. Okay, you'll probably see videos of me wearing my shades, but I'll definitely be wearing these from day one. These are sunglasses from Maui Jim. I don't know if you've heard of that sunglass maker, but these are prescription lenses, and I will be wearing these probably every day of my hike. I've had these for a couple of years, so I'm not going to count the cost of these. And the lenses have a couple of little nicks and scratches, but they're probably perfect for hiking because I don't have to worry about getting them scratched up or breaking them or whatever the case may be. And they are prescription, so I can use them as readers or distance or whatever. So Maui Jim sunglasses, pretty terrific. I do have trekking poles, hiking poles. I will be using these hiking poles every step of the way for sure. These are Cascade Mountain Tech trekking poles. They are aluminum and have clip stays rather than twist stays. The clip stays are reportedly to be much more durable, more reliable. The poles won't collapse quite as easy with these clip stays. So they're not the lightest poles you can get. They do have cork handles. You can get like carbon fiber trekking poles that probably are lighter, maybe not quite as durable. And again, I think these were $25. So pretty inexpensive, but should work well and have worked well in my training hikes so far. So that is my trekking pole. Let's talk about water. As everybody knows, hiking long distances in the wilderness, water is essential. You have to carry water with you between water sources. And sometimes that could be a day or two worth of water, or that really could be, you might have to carry water for many, many miles between water sources. So you have to be prepared for water. And this is a life straw. You may have seen this advertised in the past, but you seriously just undo this end, put it in water, undo this end, put it in your mouth, and you can drink water out of a mud puddle, and it will filter out all the impurities, all the stuff that will kill you. It may not taste well, but the water won't kill you. And this is sort of a survival sort of life straw in case the water source that I have only will accommodate something this small and this precise. I do have a different water filter, and this is a Sawyer squeeze. The interesting thing about a Sawyer squeeze is that it screws right onto the top of a water bottle. So I could put this bottle underneath a waterfall or a creek, in a mud puddle. I could put this in a horse trough and fill it with water that probably looks brown and gross, and most sane people would never think of drinking it. I can screw on the Sawyer squeeze right onto the top of my water bottle, and I can seriously just drink all the water I want to out of this bottle. It will filter out 99.99% of impurities no matter where I'm at. So on the trail, I will carry this water filter. Ooh, I got a little water in it. I'll carry this water filter and a couple of these water bottles. In addition to the water bottles, I have a 2-liter bag that I can fill with water. This will probably be dirty water all the time. I'll probably have 1 dirty water bottle or 2 dirty water bottles, 1 dirty water bag, and then I'll have 1 bottle that is just for clean water. So I will always filter from the dirty water in through the Sawyer squeeze into the clean water bottle. And again, this just unscrews from the top. The Sawyer squeeze screws right on top of that, and I can squeeze dirty water through the filter into a clean water receptacle and have clean water. Now the nice thing about this is to fill it, it has a very large opening. So I can put this and fill this very quickly if the water's running fast. I don't have to wait and try and trickle it through a narrow opening. I can fill it through a wide opening and get 2 liters of water pretty quickly if the water's running fast. And again, you just you fold the top over, and then you put this back on the top, and it locks all that water in. So this would be a watering system. To carry my water bottles on my backpack, there's a couple of options. The backpack has 2 pockets on each side, but they're at such an angle that makes it very difficult for me to reach around to the side of my pack and grab my water bottle. I've tried it, it just doesn't work. It's too far back and it's too tall, and I just can't seem to do it. So I do have a water pouch that will clip onto the front of my backpack and will hold a water bottle. So I will always have water available to me right on the front of my backpack. I can just reach down, grab it, take what I want to drink, and then replace it in. This particular water bottle holder has an elastic strap on the top, so that when it's placed in the water bottle holder, you can swing the elastic strap over top of the bottle. So when you're wearing your backpack and you need to lean over for anything, your water bottle won't fall out of your holder because of that elastic strap. So that's just a convenience thing that will be fine. Okay, let's talk about cooking systems. Sorry if I'm going fast. Cooking systems. Obviously, you need to eat. So I'll be eating on the Pacific Crest Trail. I fully intend to cook on the Pacific Crest Trail, so I will have a stove. This is what I will cook in. This is a Toke's 650 milliliter pot with lid that I will cook on or cook in on the Pacific Crest Trail. Also use this as a cup if I just want coffee or hot chocolate or something. I can use this as a cup. However, this rim would get very, very hot when I'm cooking it on a stove. So I have also these little silicone lip pieces that fit onto my cup so that I can drink out of the cup without getting burned. They just fit on the cup and you can drink without getting burned. I have a couple of those just in case. So let's talk about the stove. This is, I think, this is a 4-ounce bottle of fuel. I can't travel with this, so this is just to test out my gear. I used it to test out my gear. When I get out to California, I'll have to buy one of these when I get out there. But what happens is you have the fuel, you take the lid off of the fuel somehow. There. Take the lid off the fuel. Your stove then screws right into the fuel source. Well, here I probably need to push out the stove things before I start screwing that on. It screws right on. At some point you can hear it sort of psst a little bit as the fuel goes in. These prongs go up like so, all the way around. And then this actually, I might just turn this on. So there's a fuel thing right here that you can turn on. I'll hear the fuel in a second. You can hear it, and then there's a clicker. See that? Then you can adjust the height of the flame by using the adjuster knob on the side. So I'll be doing all my cooking with this particular stove with a fuel tank. Again, the pot goes right on top of the stove like this, so I can boil water for food that I'm cooking. Mostly dehydrated food probably will be cooked, or water will be heated in that pot. Then if this pot's busy cooking food and I want to have something to drink, I do have a very lightweight silicone cup from Sea to Summit that I can use. And by the way, this is an MSR Pocket Rocket 2. That's the name of this stove, MSR Pocket Rocket 2. So far, I love it. But this is my cup that I'll use when my stove or my pot is otherwise busy. To eat, I have a titanium spork. Very lightweight spork. I can probably do all of my eating business with this fork / spoon. Works well with the pot, so that's the spork. To carry all of my food, I have this Z-Packs food bag. It is not critter proof. It's critter resistant, mice and other kinds of critters. It's not bear proof, but it is waterproof and will hold my food. So I will use this to hold my food. It's their large bag. But I also have a bear hanging kit that came with this. So if I'm in bear country and I need to hang my food bag out of the way of bears and other critters, I have this this nylon smooth rope that came with the bag, and I will simply tie this onto the bag, throw it over the tree using my rock bag. I'll put rocks in this little bag, tie this rope onto the bag, tie the other end onto this bag, and I'll throw it over a tree limb, hike it up until it's out of reach of bears, tie it off somewhere, and the next day I can go get my food bag. But this is the food storage bag that I'll have. Also part of my kitchen gear is a towel. This little towel I got for free from REI with something else that I purchased. But it's just a very lightweight towel that I can use to clean up my kitchen gear when I need to. There, it's just wrings out very quickly and stores in that little pouch on a carabiner. So that's pretty cool. My pot goes into this storage bag, and actually my pot goes into this bag, and then my stove and my fuel and my cup all go into this pot. The lid goes on, it goes back into the bag for easy storage. So that's my food cooking stuff. Let me talk a little bit about electronics. I will have my iPhone XR on trail. I'll be doing all my filming with the iPhone XR. However, I also have a DJI Osmos Gimbal 3 that I'll be using to do some filming. Instead of a selfie stick, I'll be using a gimbal. It basically keeps the camera a little bit more steady. You can switch from front to the back camera at the push of a button rather than touching your phone. You can just use the gimbal. I can't show it to you because I'm using it right now, so sorry about that. I'll probably show it to you in a future video. So that's what I'll be using to film. I'll also be editing film on my iPhone using iMovie, the basic iMovie package that came with my phone. That's what I'm going to be using. Or I'll be uploading my footage to the cloud, and my wife Lauren can download some of that footage and do some editing herself if she's feeling like she has time to do that. To charge that, my phone, my gimbal, and my other electronics, I do have a, what is this? This is a 20,100 milliamp hour charger from Anker. This is said to charge my phone 6 or 7 times from zero. I've tested it out a few times. I can charge my phone 2 or 3 times and it's still, all the lights are on. So it's, so far it seems to be working really well. It does have a cord so that I can actually charge the Anker. So this gets me from town to town. So that I don't have to worry about charging. When I get to a new town and I'm taking a day off, or I just taken an afternoon off or a morning off, one of the things I have to do is charge my charger so that I have juice to charge my phone when I'm out in the wilderness. So I'll be charging my phone, I'll be charging my gimbal, and this is the Garmin InReach Explorer Plus. I got this for me because I think it's cool, but I really hope that my wife enjoys me having this Garmin InReach. This is a satellite communication device, an SOS device, and a tracking device. I can set this up so that her cell phone will get a ping every 15 or 20 minutes while I'm on the trail, maybe 30 minutes, so that she can follow me on a map. She can follow me, and many of my friends who are interested can also follow me. I just set them up, and you can get a ping every so often and see where I'm at on the trail as I progress along the trail. So that's important. Also, we'll have the data plan for this Garmin InReach so that I can have unlimited texting. There will be times on the trail where my cell phone doesn't have signal, but I can always communicate with my wife and others using this satellite communication thing. So I can text no matter where I'm at in the world, no matter what the cell phone signal is like, I can text using this. But the most important feature, and it's around safety, is the SOS feature. The Garmin InReach Explorer on the side of the phone, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got this little SOS thing right here on the side. And that's really not the button, which is good because I could accidentally push that. But if you pull back on that, there is a button inside there that I can push at any time, assuming my InReach Explorer is charged. I can push that at any time. And it sends a signal to the worldwide, I forget what it's called, and I should have remembered. It's the Worldwide Network Administrator that gets the signal, and they can literally contact me back by text. I can communicate with them about what my issue is, what my problem is, what the danger is, how I've injured myself, whatever that case may be. I can communicate that to them, and then they can in turn communicate that back to local authorities, search and rescue, who can find me within 30 minutes. I think the rule of thumb is that once I push this SOS button, I can probably have a helicopter hovering above me, right above me, no matter where I'm at, in about 30 minutes. So it's just a peace of mind thing. It's so I can communicate when I don't have cell signal. It's for the SOS feature and the tracking feature, Garmin InReach Explorer. I'm looking forward to activating that soon. Also, along the lines of electronics, I do have a Black Diamond headlamp. It is extremely bright. It's battery powered, so I will carry 3 AAA batteries to just in case the batteries that are in here run out. I've used this quite a bit already, and the batteries seem to be doing fine, holding their own, so I think it's okay. But this also has a red feature so that I can see in the dark without necessarily disturbing others or not blinding others with the brightness of this lamp. But if I'm hiking at night, and I probably will be doing some of that, I will be using this headlamp to light my way. And again, it's battery operated.
Low tech.
The low tech. I have 2 notebooks and a pen and a wallet that actually is large enough to store my passport. So my passport, my money, and these 2 notebooks will be in this along with this pen. This pen is a pressurized pen cartridge so that I can write upside down. I can write in the rain. The pages of these notebooks are kind of like waxy. They're rainproof. I can open this in the rain. I can write in the rain, and it won't damage this notebook. The pages, the paper, or the pen will all be fine. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use this. I have a couple of options. It could be that every day I just record the temperature, the mileage that I've done, any other pertinent information so that I can enhance videos as I go. But anyway, that's the low tech option. Here's something I can't live without. Unfortunately, when you get older, you got to have some readers. So my sunglasses are good, I can do that, but I can't go anywhere without these. And in all honesty, I'll probably get one of those weird neck things to hang these so that I always have them close by, unless I can figure out a place on my pack that they go in pretty quickly or easily, maybe in my shirt pocket or something, but have to have the readers. So a couple other little things I have. This probably isn't for protection as much as it is for slicing some pepperoni or some summer sausage as we go. It's just a very lightweight knife. You're supposed to be able to open it and close it with one hand, which is nice. I very well may buy some or use some of my paracord and hang this around my neck so that I always have it handy. I guess I could use this for protection, but I think a bear would probably think this was just a mosquito bite if I had to use this on a bear. I'm not quite sure. I think his claws are probably bigger than this blade. It's really not for protection. It's just for peace of mind more than anything else. This is a doohickey, which I'd never heard of, but I got this as a gift from my colleagues at work. It's a very lightweight multi-tool, but I think probably the most useful thing of this multi-tool is the church key, so that I can open beer bottles that aren't twist off. It does have a couple other things on there that I might use, but it is so light it's not going to add any weight to my pack. So it's a gift, so I'm going to take it. Anybody know what this is? One thing they say about traveling in bear country is you never want to surprise a bear. You don't want to sneak up on a bear, because if you sneak up on them and they get startled, their instinct is to attack and probably to kill. So anything you can do while traveling in bear country to let the bears know you're there is better. You're better off. In fact, if the bears know you're there, you will likely never see the bear because they don't want to have a run-in with you. So this is just a noisemaker. It's very annoying that you can hang on your pack. When you're hiking, it jiggles around. It just makes noise when you're not thinking about noise you can make in bear country. These are kind of mocked on the trail. I think because people don't like the bell, it disturbs their wilderness peace that they're seeking while on the trail. I'm going to take it. I don't know if I'll use it. I'll just have to wait and see what happens when I get to bear country and how I'm feeling about that. But I do have it if I want it. And yeah, I don't mind annoying people, so we'll see how it goes. This is, I don't know, honey, how much do you think this weighs? Several pounds? Less than an ounce? Mm-hmm. Yeah. this is going to go in my backpack because I'm not carrying any separate bag, any separate fanny pack or anything like that. And this is something I can use when I go to the grocery store to resupply. I don't have to carry paper or plastic away from the store. I can take this bag. It is an Eddie Bauer bag, and it fits in here. It's sort of like a shopping bag. It's got an arm thing. It goes over your shoulder, and it's sort of big. You can actually put a bunch of stuff in there. So I'll probably take this with me when I do laundry. I can put my dirty clothes in here, or when I resupply at the grocery store, I can use this. You can throw it in the wash and wash it, but it takes up a little bit of space, but it's you can hardly feel it at all. It's so lightweight. So I will have that for laundry and for resupply days. Okay, here's something everybody likes to talk about and everybody's curious about. Pooping. Yeah, I'll probably have to do some of that on the trail. Don't you think, honey? Mm-hmm. Yes. So, again, this was a gift. I was going to buy some anyway, but this was a gift from my colleagues at work. They thought it'd be fun to buy me some wet wipes. I actually like the size of this. There's a number of them in here. I don't know how many are in there. 12. So, I don't know. This might get me through a day. Pooping. But then I also have this trowel. This is a extremely lightweight trowel. When you're pooping on trail, you have to dig a hole. The leave no trace philosophy of the Pacific Crest Trail and other long distance trails is you never want anybody else to know you've been there. The only thing that should give you away is a footprint in the dust of the trail. That's it. Other than that, there should be no sign that you've been there, and this is one of the ways you do it. You dig a hole 6 to 8 inches deep, or about as deep as this trowel is itself, big enough, and then you do your business in the hole. Then you cover up that with dirt. These, when you use them, do not go in the hole. These go into a trash bag in my backpack to be disposed of when I get to town. These are pack in, pack out only. No toilet paper on the trail from this guy. So that's pooping. Every once in a while, you might need something to stop some bleeding. Hopefully not a lot of bleeding, but a little bit of bleeding. So I do have a first aid kit. My first aid kit is not quite complete yet. I'm still working on that, but I will have gauze, bandages, a little pair of scissors, nail clippers, Imodium. In case I do happen to get some bad water and get some diarrhea, I'll need some Imodium. I'll have ibuprofen for sure. I'll have Advil PM to help me sleep if I have achy muscles. Let's see, what else will I have?
Neosporin.
Oh, a triple antibiotic ointment, some sort of Neosporin that I can put on stuff. Yeah, so a first aid kit. I do have a glasses cleaner thing in here, just a little cloth that I'll take with me as well. So here's where I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, but here's 2 bags. I have a wet bag and another kind of storage bag from Z-Packs. I need to find a bag for my clothes. I'm not sure either one of these are big enough, so these are a maybe. I have them if I can use them, but I'm not quite sure. 2 different storage bags. This is a contractor bag, a very heavy-duty black plastic bag that will go inside my pack. It will be a pack liner. I can throw all of my gear into this bag, roll down the top, and I can probably wade through a creek up to my neck, and the stuff inside my pack shouldn't get wet. So I'll be using this as a pack liner. I might also have a pack cover just to keep my backpack drier. Because if your backpack gets wet, it's just more weight to carry around. So this is a pack liner. Oh, things are going to get cold sometimes on the trail, and when they do, I'm going to be really happy that I have one of these. This is a Patagonia Nano Puff synthetic jacket. It is not down, it is synthetic. So I don't necessarily have to worry about this getting wet or wet with sweat. This should keep me warm no matter the circumstances. So a Patagonia Nano Puff jacket. I will probably not wear this hiking unless it is super cold. I'm super cold. But I will wear this when I get to camp and it's cold. I can take off whatever I'm wearing that's damp or moist, and I can replace it with dry clothes, including this, to stay warm in camp. So that's a Patagonia Nano Puff jacket. Underneath that jacket, or actually when I hike and I want warmth, instead of using the Nano Puff, I can use this Eddie Bauer mid-layer jacket. This is a nice jacket that's a little bit water resistant, but it's lined with fleece on the inside, so it's nice and toasty. It's very comfortable. It does have a nice pocket on the side that I can put my phone in or whatever else I might need, and it has pockets on both sides as well. And thumb holes. No, this one doesn't have thumb holes. Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's got thumb holes too. So anyway, this is my mid layer that I'll wear for warmth when it starts getting cold. Underneath this mid layer, I'm only going to have one thing. It's probably a long sleeve tech t-shirt, something that I might wear if it's just sunny out and I don't want to get sunburned, but it's warm. I'll just wear a long sleeve tech t-shirt. Over that, I'll put this. Over this, I'll either put more warmth or waterproofing. So I'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, that's the mid layer. Again, when it gets cold, I'll replace my usual hat for a beanie. Nice and toasty warm. Will keep my ears warm, my head warm, because God knows I need some warmth because I'm bald. In addition to a beanie, I also have, for super cold days, I don't know what they call these. It's baklava or something like that. I never know how that is, but it's just got Velcro on both ends, and you put it around your nose and your mouth. It Velcros at the back, it tucks into your jacket, and it just keeps your cheeks, your mouth, and everything nice and toasty while you're hiking in super cold weather. Again, it weighs nothing because it's just a little bit of fleece material, so I'm taking that. For my hands in super cold weather, I have a pair of REI fleece gloves. I've worn these on a few cold mornings. Hiking, they seem to work really well. They do have a tech finger. Both index fingers have the tech finger, so I can operate my phone and stuff without taking my gloves off. So these are the fleece. When it gets really cold or when it gets wet and cold, I do have a pair of REI waterproof mittens. So I'll put my gloves on, I'll put these mittens on over the gloves. And the nice thing about these mittens is not only will they keep my gloves and my hands and fingers dry, but I can also put a warming thing. You've seen them, like warming fingers, a little pad that you activate and you put in that generates heat for a number of hours. I can put one of those inside my mitten to keep my fingers keep my fingers warm on even the coldest day. So I'll have some of those on me as well. Anyway, those are the mittens. Also, for cold weather, when I get into the snow and when the snow gets a little bit deep, I will change out, one second. On my trekking pole, I have these little baskets. And these are just the normal baskets I'll use in the desert or any place. But when the snow gets cold, when it gets cold and it's deep snow, I'll change out those baskets for these snow baskets. They're just bigger. They won't allow my trekking pole to go very deep into the snow when I have these on. So I'll just swap these out when the weather is right. Speaking of cold, when it gets cold out and it gets icy and there's lots of snow and the snow is crunchy or not, I'll need traction. And there's two kinds of traction you can have. This is just one kind. I will be needing to buy the other kind at some point along the trail, but I'm just going to buy it on the trail. These are called micro spikes. And basically, you put these over my hiking shoes and you latch them on your shoes, and they have little spikes. Oh, hope you can see that. They have little spikes. They're about a ½ inch long. And all along the bottom of your shoe, you'll have these spikes, and they prevent you from slipping in snow ice, and things of that nature while you're hiking. The other things, in addition to micro spikes that I'll be buying eventually, are crampons. And instead of half inch, they have full inch long spikes to keep you from sliding when you really get up into the mountains. So I'll be buying those crampons at some point. I mentioned wet weather. This is a wet weather jacket from Eddie Bauer. It is extremely lightweight. This is not an insulating thing, but this is waterproof and windproof. So whether it's windy and cold or wet and cold, I can put this on over my mid layer, that orange Eddie Bauer that I showed you. I can put this over that and stay nice and toasty warm and out of the wind no matter where I'm at. So I also have a pair of Eddie Bauer wind and waterproof pants. So if the going really gets tough and it's cold out, I can wear these pants over my hiking shorts and be just fine. Nice, warm, very lightweight Eddie Bauer hiking pants. This is the most expensive piece of gear that I own. This is a Z-Pax duplex 2-person tent. It has no poles. It relies on my trekking poles to put it up. It is extremely lightweight for its size, its durability, and its utility. It's very lightweight. This is 19 ounces in total, and 2 people could sleep in this easily with their gear. It will just be me and my gear. So I will have plenty of room in this tent to stretch out. So this is the Z-Pax Duplex. I'm almost embarrassed to say how much this cost. So I'll save that for another video. With that tent, I have tent pegs. And I have a bag of those tent pegs somewhere. But I have 2 kinds of pegs. I have the shepherd hook. This is a titanium little peg, extremely lightweight, and in most conditions I can use these tent pegs when I pitch my tent. When the wind is really howling, I can use this larger tent peg that will stay in softer soil better than the shepherd hook, and I have a few of these that I can use to pitch my tent. I have the X-Lite Neo Thermarest, X-Lite Neo Air large sleeping pad. This is a 3-inch inflatable sleeping pad. I have to blow this up. It's insulated, has some R value. It keeps the coldness from the ground off of me when I'm sleeping. And I've tested this out with my sleeping bag, and this works good. I think it got down to 30 degrees that night, and I was sleeping just fine. Speaking of sleeping bags, this is my warmth. This is my shelter after a cold day when I just want to crawl in somewhere and get warm. This is it. This is a Nemo Disco 15 degree bag, which is not to say that I can be warm at 15 degrees. What it means is it'll keep me alive at 15 degrees. It probably keeps me warm around 30, 25 degrees, maybe 20 degrees. So this thing worked really well. And I'll probably do something more on this bag when the time comes or when I get some extra time. But I love this bag so far. It's tested out well. It comes with a stuff sack. Believe it or not, that huge bag fits in this little bag. It stuffs down so small and so tight in this little bag. It takes up hardly any room in my backpack, and it's very lightweight. To add some warmth to that backpack, I do have a cocoon travel sheet. This is a sleeping bag liner is what this is. It's a rectangle shape. I can crawl into this and then crawl into my sleeping bag. It's supposed to add about 5 to 10 degrees of warmth to any sleeping bag. So if it gets cold, I can always pull this out and use this along with my sleeping bag. Speaking of cold, when I get cold and I want to crawl into that sleeping bag after I've been wet and cold all day long, I've been hiking for miles, all I want to do is get warm, I will have this base layer, it's a fleece lined base layer that I bought at Meyer department store. It is nothing special. It is a generic brand, but it's warm and I can crawl into this at night. I have matching long pants that I can also wear to keep myself warm at night. These will never be worn hiking. These will always be kept dry along with my sleeping bag. No matter what I'm doing during the day, I need something dry and warm to get into at night. So this is it. Along with that, I have these socks. These socks are called, what the heck were they called? They're heat holder socks. And they're very, very thick. They loft on the inside. They have, it's almost like a animal fur on the inside. It's so warm and thick and cozy. These will never be worn hiking. These will only be worn inside my sleeping bag. So again, it's just about warmth. I have a pillow. This is the Climate X pillow. I got this for free online. You can probably get it for free right now if you wanted it. It's the the Climate X pillow. It's inflatable. I haven't tried it out yet, but I do have it. I have a sit pad. This is a Z-Packs from Z-Packs, and it simply is a way to sit on a rock, sit on a tree stump, excuse me, sit on a log, wherever I might sit, so that I have a little bit of cushioning and a little bit of clean, right? As long as this is clean, I can sit on it and be clean. So it's just a sit pad. I have an umbrella. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. Thank you, Lauren. It's a Gossamer Gear umbrella. This umbrella is to be used for multi things. It is to be used for rain. In case it rains, I can whip this out, especially if I don't want to, especially if it's hot and it's raining and I don't want to put on that hot rain gear. I can use this as an umbrella. But generally speaking, this is used to keep the sun off in the desert. This is so I can always hike in the shade, because the shade is hard to find in the desert, and this I can bring my own. So I look forward to using this in the desert. Not everybody believes in these, but I'm going to give it a whirl. Anyway, I think that's it. I think we've gone through the whole thing. So thanks to my helper, and I'll be back with another video in a little while. So say goodbye.
Bye, honey.
Bye.